Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And tonight, in this corner, we're talking Mr. Banks. Yeah. Like that, like how I'm changing it up every time. I'm trying to be creative with it. Even though the title of the show really makes no sense, especially because we're almost a year from the release of Saving Mr. Banks, so its relevance is kind of slipping, but whatever. It's the title of the show. We're going with it. How are you, BlueDragonFive? Back to talk a little bit more Disney?
Yeah.
All right, for sure. So, I'm stoked. I can't even begin to hide my excitement about what we're going to be talking about. I'm pretty excited for Tomorrowland. Gotta say. This kind of blows Tomorrowland out of the water a little bit for me personally.
Actually, hold on a second, dude. Can I build this up? May I?
Sure.
Let me build the moment here. Okay, so Walt Disney Animation Company here. Right now they had in the works, in terms of live action, we got Tomorrowland currently on the crux of being released soon.
Oh, yes.
Well, not soon, but soon.
2015, yeah, it's in the final.
It's on the horizon. It's on the horizon, most definitely, and it's looking very promising. Now, how can we top that? Let's get back in the animated world for a moment. Coming up this year, coming up November, we got this great grand movie, Big Hero 6 coming out. It looks really promising. Really looking forward to it. Superhero movie done by Disney. Could be an Incredibles. Who knows? Now, what are they doing?
I feel like at least the characters in Big Hero 6 have already kind of integrated themselves into the Disney canon quite well. I feel like they fit right in, and that's kind of one thing that I was sort of hesitant about with Big Hero 6 was if this was going to feel like Disney or just animated Marvel, and I think it very much feels like Disney while still having some Marvel sensibilities to it. So yeah, I'm excited.
And one can only hope that we get that. And what do we get after that? We get this movie. We're getting a movie called Zootopia. Following that.
I forgot about that.
A movie called Zootopia, and it works following that. I'm a little vague on the concept of that, but
yeah, me too. Yeah.
But down the line, I'm building towards a moment, so go with me here. Following that, we're going to get a movie in 2018 called Giants, which is essentially adapting Jack and the Beanstalk classic story for a new story.
Let's hope it's better than the Brett Ratner version. Or I'm sorry, the Bryan Singer version. Frickin' Brett Ratner.
Well, let's indeed hope so. So what are we going to have to satiate ourselves? And this is big, folks. This is big. This could potentially be, if it's lucky, mind you, it could be a Frozen, a Sunny or Frozen.
Yeah, it's kind of the polar opposite of Frozen, which I kind of love.
Polar.
Nah.
Anyway, so what I'm building towards here is we got another Disney Princess movie in the meantime, 2016, I believe a later 2016, because I believe Zootopia is in March.
Yeah.
I believe Zootopia is in March, and following that, I presume just like in November region of time. Mm-hmm. I assume, mind you. We got a Disney Princess movie, but a different Disney Princess, one we haven't really gotten before. What is that, T? What are we here talking about today?
We are here to talk about the new Disney Princess, based in the South Pacific, which, of course, I'm a Tiki guy. I'm a little bit excited. It's called...
And it means Norma Bates is going to star in this film? No.
I was like, wait, are you serious?
No. South Pacific.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That is called Moana. Moana. No, it's not just Mona. There's an A there. It's Moana.
Moana.
Let's go with that. I'm sure it's like Ratatouille. I'm sure by the time the movie actually comes out, we'll all be well versed in how to pronounce it.
Yeah, but Ratatouille had good marketing.
That's true. That's true.
Ratatouille.
Okay. So, BlueDragonFive, if you don't mind, let me read off this Entertainment Weekly article that was released, I believe it was 2 days ago, October 20th, which is technically 3 days ago, because it's past midnight for me, but whatever.
And before you read that, would I be correct in assuming that you and I, neither of us knew about this movie going into this, before this Entertainment Weekly thing was released, right?
Oh, okay, well... I knew that Disney had something in the works that was South Pacific related, because back in 2011, I distinctly remember Disney released just kind of a vague sort of announcement for a movie they were doing, and I honestly kind of think it was in the Pixar branch, actually, which was this movie that was called Tiki. And I was like, oh, holy crap, Disney's doing a movie about an internet personality like myself. Wow, Disney, I'm flattered. No, in all actuality, I was like, oh, cool, sort of a Tiki Room kind of movie. That's interesting.
We know John Lasseter has an affinity for classic.
Of course. Now, you mentioned that Pixar still has a Tiki movie on the horizon. Something about volcanoes.
Not necessarily Tiki, but more so volcanoes, which implies Hawaiian.
Are the main characters going to be volcanoes?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, damn, that's interesting.
Main characters are volcanoes. I believe one of them sports a Hawaiian name. I think they both do. I know one of them does. I just can't quite recall. So at least there's a Hawaiian volcano. They
based it all on real Hawaiian volcanoes and gave them all first. Oh, man, that could be really cool.
That's what it looks like, at least two. I believe it's actually what they said it's going to be. Is basically it's a romance between two volcanoes.
Oh, man. Oh, okay. Well, that could be the whole Tiki project that we were talking about, but I don't know.
The inspiring spark.
But something tells me that this Tiki thing that was released in 2011 got developed into what we're getting now. And yeah, you're correct that up until then, besides the whole title of Tiki, I had no idea this was coming. So
yeah, I mean, I just saw an internet article once. Just basically, I saw like a little bit of concept art of a landscape.
Which I'll definitely put in the thumbnail.
It looked really interesting to me, but I also saw the headline, basically, new Disney Princess.
I must say, the concept art looks it very much reminds me of Zelda Wind Waker. I guess just in the sail, but I know, but I like that. That's not a bad thing. I love Wind Waker. But anyway.
I saw a little headline, Disney Princess, and I was intrigued, and I saw the name that we're talking about right now. So what does the Entertainment Weekly article say?
Okay, so get ready for another Disney heroine to obsess over. Disney Animation announced today that it will release its 56th animated feature, Moana, in late 2016. Moana is described as a sweeping CGI animated comedy adventure and takes place in ancient Oceania in the South Pacific. The film will tell the story of the titular character, a teenage girl and born navigator, who sets sail in search of a fabled island, according to summary from Disney. But during her incredible journey, she teams up with her hero, the legendary demigod Maui.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. To traverse the open ocean on an action-packed voyage, encountering enormous sea creatures, breathtaking worlds, and ancient folklore. Disney reveals.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The creative team behind Moana, which is CG animated, has some serious Disney pedigree. Directors Ron Clements and John Musker also helmed The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, among others. Moana is indomitable, passionate, and a dreamer with a unique connection to the ocean itself, Musker said in a statement. She's the kind of character we all root for, and we can't wait to introduce her to audiences. There's already a strong internet fan base for the Polynesian Moana, who was previously expected to make her debut in 2018, and she serves as an example of Disney furthering representation of diverse and minority characters. Bam!
May I just say, before we get into it, just hearing that last part of that article, I'm hearing the specifics of this article for the first time, by the way, folks. I just got some really quick cliff notes on the subject, so I'm learning here too with you folks. The 2018 thing, I looked at Google Images because I looked at some more of that concept art, and I found some really cool looking fan art. I was thinking, that can't be the concept art, and it said 2018, and then I checked back to make sure the movie's coming out 2016, which it is. So
no, actually, yeah, I believe it was on the pipeline for 2018, and then they changed it to 16. So it fell completely off my radar, but yeah, I guess apparently.
Because I heard about the Zootopia thing on the docket.
Right, yeah. Right.
And that's probably why we didn't really hear about this thing in the works. So, yeah, I heard about like Tangle when it was like still in production stages back in the day.
Oh yeah, we heard about Tangled. What was that movie originally called? It was Rapunzel Unbraided. Yeah. Remember?
I remember Unbraided. So it was just called Rapunzel. Yeah,
it was called Rapunzel Unbraided originally. Yeah. Okay, but anyways. So let's kind of break this down. I mean, my God,
I think it's just interesting that this thing's getting fan art already. How does that happen? How do you get fan art about the movie even being made yet? Aside from the beautiful concept, or what are you really getting?
In a world of Frozen, BlueDragonFive, I almost kind of fear that this is going to get like oversaturated, just like Frozen.
It seems a little funny and ridiculous that it's already getting this beautiful fan art before it's even released.
Right.
We haven't even gotten the trailer yet.
Yeah.
Are they just going off of this?
We're at least a good year from getting the trailer.
I'm just thinking like the turnaround. I'm just hearing about this like maybe like a few days ago, like same when you did, and I'm just thinking like, oh my God, people make all the fan art just within a day.
Well, no, like you said, I think somehow they did announce it was in 2018, and we just missed it. So
yeah,
I think
that's
fan art came from. I don't think it came from just this announcement.
Yeah, I'm just hearing it now. So I'm thinking like, how do they? First of all, how do they get bearings on the? I guess just purely fan speculation and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Good.
Okay, no, but it's like, so first of all, she's searching for a fabled island. That's really cool. I love the idea of like enormous sea creatures. That could lend to some really interesting animation, some really cool creative creature designs and everything.
I gotta tell you, right off the bat, you know my big theory is with this whole thing?
What?
The way they should go with this, like this could be like their Frozen equivalent direction here. Here's what you do: you have this girl's journey with this Maui.
Mm-hmm.
Make it the Odyssey. Make it Disney's version of the Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I'm saying, like not the Odyssey
in
per
the
se.
same way that Lion King is Disney's Hamlet, in that sort of same vein.
Yeah, kind of in that vein. Basically, it would be kind of like a journey that would be kind of like I'm just going off the description. I'm hearing like she's gonna face these mythological things and like these demigods and stuff. That sounds kind of like the Odyssey.
Right.
I'm saying in terms of like a girl on an adventure and running into these
underworld, ancient folklore. Yeah.
I'm saying it sounds like the Odyssey to me, which I think is kind of a neat direction if they go that way.
And that's kind of interesting because it's much the same way that you wouldn't expect Hamlet to take place in Africa, and star lions and everything. You wouldn't expect something like a Greek ancient mythology to take place in another ancient mythology, but very much on the other side of the world.
Yeah, it could be a cool idea,
Yeah, I like it. I can totally see Disney doing something with that for sure.
I like the idea. Basically, they said she's basically kind of an adventurer at sea. She loves to sail, loves the adventure. She's chief's daughter, and she's trying to save the place.
Oh yeah. I hope this doesn't become another Pocahontas. I hope not. I don't think it will be. I think it's got much more potential than Pocahontas.
I think she's I'm just kind of going off what I knew before, and I'm not quite sure how it fits into that description. But basically, what if she's finding like the solution to what's the dilemma again? Why is she adventuring?
Oh, let me see.
Did it mention it?
No. All it says is she set sail in search of a fabled island.
I'm thinking like I'm thinking like she's searching for someone on an island, and basically be like a demigod or a myth of some kind. It's like someone who's like a figure that can help her. Like help her. It said in the description I read is basically to help her family. And I'm thinking like, okay, well maybe we don't know what the emotional stakes are yet. I'm just saying like I don't know if it's gonna be like a sick father, mother, or whoever,
right.
Or the whole island's in trouble or something. But maybe she goes to find this mysterious island to find someone who can help her. And that might be a good motivation there.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps like an adventure with stakes. I gotta save my people. I gotta save.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm sure there's going to be some big stakes involved.
Saying, think about it. It could be like you could have the Odyssey, but also working a character who has like obviously her own distinct personality, but be kind of I'm just using the character model here, Anna. Bit of Anna in there. Like she's determined. She's dead set on her goal, like Anna is, to save people, save her kingdom, save the whole gang.
Right, yeah, you could have a lot of different scenarios there. You could have, like, she could be saving the village from, like, an impending volcano or an impending storm or something like that.
Yeah, and pretty much she has that drive, like, not maybe like Anna does, but with her own character stuff,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see a recycled version of Anna, of course. Yeah,
of course. I'm just saying, like, in that vein.
Yeah, I hear you. I kind of hope that this character is a little more grounded and a little less silly than Anna was, even though I do like Anna for who she is, of course, but you know what I mean? I hope this character is a little bit more stoic, like a little bit more Elsa and a little less Anna. I don't
I
know.
gotta tell you, though, this character's got a lot cut out for her because she's following some really good footsteps. Really some great princess characters we got.
I think it's a really good idea, though. I mean, I think if they're going to go this direction, this is a perfect culture to kind of tap into. Also, really interesting that they're doing their big follow-up to Frozen with something that is basically like their first.
Not polar opposite, but tropical opposite.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, of course, my big issue with Frozen, and it's not really Frozen's fault, it's just like everyone's sort of like, Lilo and Stitch, what's that? What's that story about sisters? Frozen is the big Disney movie about sisters, and I'm like, no, Lilo and Stitch still kind of did it better, even though Frozen's good. I don't know. I still think Lilo and Stitch's sister story is better than Frozen's, but that's a whole different debate.
Well, they're both
But
good
anyways,
stories. I debate. They're both great stories about sisters.
well, yeah, but anyways, I do think it's interesting that they're kind of going back to the whole Polynesian vibe, and where, of course, Lilo and Stitch was modern day. It's going to be very ancient. So,
Oh yeah, and it's funny. Lilo and Stitch too. Actually, they kind of explore some of the ancient Hawaiian myth a little.
really? Huh, I'll have to check
Yeah,
that out.
basically, Lilo. Again, I gotta tell you, when I really think about Hawaiian culture, sometimes I just don't get it. I'm sure if I really devote a lot of time, I could probably learn some of it, because I watched like some behind the scenes for Lilo and Stitch. It seems really interesting. They went to Hawaii, they visited, they learned a lot about the culture. Good for those guys. However, I gotta tell you, like the parent in Lilo and Stitch 2, they're doing like a thing where they're doing the hula dances and they're telling a story during the dance. And pretty much what they're doing is they're telling some sort of, they're relaying like an ancient Hawaiian. It looks like a tiki because they're wearing like tiki masks during like tiki
Okay,
head
sure,
mask
sure.
of like it's like some sort of story about ancient friendship. I guess some tiki god about friendship. Is that ringing any bells for you?
No, I've got the list of the Tiki Room gods, but I'm sure it's not all the Hawaiian gods, so.
Well, anyway, I'm not quite sure. The point was about kind of some Hawaiian mythology, I guess, and it was pretty much them communicating the story. So it might be like kind of those in terms of mythicness. It might be like kind of your landmark tales in regards to that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely think it's going to have a lot of roots in Polynesian mythology, which I'm really excited about. Let me ask you this, BlueDragonFive, with this movie existing, do you think we're ever going to see a proper Tiki Room movie, or do you think any chance of that is kind of out the window at this point?
Well, let's think about this tiki. Okay, so how many Disney animated films? I'm going to specify that. How many Disney animated films have we gotten that are based on the rides?
0.
So I don't know. The thing is, I think they're more making this. I'm not sure how much they're making this inspired by the Tiki Room per se. They might. I don't know. How does the Tiki Room really get into the mythology of the Tikis?
The Tiki Room attraction itself doesn't, but the pre-show most definitely does. The pre-show is all about the mythology of the Tikis.
Okay, so let me ask you this: the pre-show, the Tiki Room, does it per se? Like as you're walking there, does it expound a little bit about the legend behind each tiki mask?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
okay.
Exactly
Well, maybe there's a chance for. I'm not sure about in the future, like getting more.
Maui is in the Tiki Room, BlueDragonFive, so that's already one connection we have right away. One of the major characters is a character from the Tiki Room. So.
Now, look, I'm not saying that this movie itself is not going to be inspired by Tiki Room. I'm saying I'm sure they're definitely going to visit that to get some information on Tiki Room, kind of get some of the Mad Steven design elements, definitely.
I would hope so, yeah, that'd be neat to see.
I'm not sure we're going to get a straight-up adaptation of it.
Look to it. It's very 60s, very stylized. I'd be really interested to see some of that design carry over, for sure.
Tiki, aside from maybe some shorts in the future, I wouldn't expect a straight-up adaptation of the Tiki Room. I would expect, if Disney got its crap together, would actually some good DVD features on the Tiki Room with this DVD. I would hope.
Oh, that would be good. That would be good, yeah.
I would expect maybe a documentary on it if Disney got its stuff together.
Well, if you want to see a documentary about the Tiki Room, the Extinct Attractions Club, it's got you covered, and it's on YouTube, but that's a whole different story. It's
anyway,
a documentary.
So, yeah.
Okay, so with that in mind, do you have anything else to speculate on, or can I get into my list of gods?
Well, yeah. So just something about a few things to get out of the way here, real quick. So the development has been going on since 2011. Musker and Clements, they were presented with some options after Princess and the Frog to develop, and basically they wanted to do something called, I think it's called Mort. I have no idea what it is. It's just called Mort. It's based on some sort of, I don't want to say fairy tale, but it's some sort of story.
Weird. Huh.
Point is, they wanted to adapt it, but couldn't get the rights to it, so they worked out some options, basically 3 options, and this was the one that won out.
Okay. Well, I'm very glad they went with this option because,
and of course,
obviously, I am a big Tiki guy. I base my entire internet moniker around it, so.
Now, of course, right off the bat, again, Clements and Musker, they're big mains. They're like huge pillars within the Disney.
Oh, definitely, most definitely.
Especially the Renaissance. I mean, they've been working on it since, but even when Disney was kind of at their most shaky of grounding, not Basil of
do not diss The Great Mouse Detective. That is a great movie, my friend.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that was when Disney was in shaky territory. I mean, it was a good movie. I'm just saying that's when they were at their kind of their shakiest in terms of, like, they had to have some good successes there and basically need the big commercial market. Anyway, I'm not.
Yeah. It's interesting because that history with Disney, it's like that was definitely when they were at their shakiest, but produced some of their most interesting movies, like
very true,
Hound, which we still need to do a discussion on at some point in the future, but that's a different thing. But
that's John Lasseter's birth. Anyway, so the point is, they've done great things, like also like the underrated ones too, like Hercules, Treasure Planet.
I'm not a big fan of Hercules just because it's a rip-off Aladdin, but that's a whole different debate, yeah.
And your Treasure Planet. The point is, it's
I like Treasure Planet. I really like Treasure Planet. That's both Treasure Planet and Atlantis are severely underappreciated.
And maybe, something to speculate on, this movie might have a bit of a Treasure Planet vibe to it, a smidge.
I don't know.
I'm saying in terms of like a grand adventure, and that's all.
Yeah, in terms of grand adventure, I can see it. I just don't see the steampunk elements, and the steampunk thing was Treasure Planet's big
I mean, like, grand adventure and interesting characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed. Like, who would you think? Who would you speculate? I guess we'll get into this with the Tiki's. Just one thing, one more bit of factoids, just to get out of the way real quick before we get into that. Mark Mencia, if I'm pronouncing that right, I hope I am. Mark Mencia is doing the score for this film, and you'll know him. He assisted on the score for Lion King along with Hans Zimmer.
Okay, that's like one of the best scores ever made. So
yeah, so he's a composer. He's composer for this film, but he's also I assume he helped write the songs on Lion King also. So he's a little bit of both.
Okay.
He did the score for Tarzan.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't like the Phil Collins songs, but the score.
Well, yeah, did the score. Sure. He might have been involved a little bit, in, like, I don't know if he wrote it or not, but.
Well, to be fair, the Phil Collins songs in Brother Bear make the songs in Tarzan look amazing.
Yeah, because believe me, I'll cut Collins a pass on the Tarzan because I really like that movie. And they really worked well during the month. It was just in Brother Bear. I will not
cut him a pass on Brother Bear. No.
Yeah, neither will I. But anyways, the point is he'll be doing score, and it seems to be in good hands. The guy's got some good credentials behind him. And we should talk about the animation before we get into the Tikis.
Okay, yeah, sure. That is a good thing to bring up.
A lot of people speculated, on them using the Paperman technology, because how can you not? Because it looks amazing, but they're not quite there yet. They're not quite there yet. They can't do it yet. They're working out the kinks, but it's too complex. They can't work in color yet. That's the issue.
Oh, is that the issue? Okay.
According to them, the main issue is that they can't work in the colors properly. However, what they are going to do
is definitely going to be a big factor. So,
sure. I'm glad you mentioned that, because what they are doing, though, they are striving for, as Walt Disney and the great John Lasseter, as all the animation greats have always strived for, you got to push the technology a little with each film.
Oh yes.
And what this is doing with the animation is how can you top Paperman? Well, they're going to play how the mix of what they do with Paperman mixed with Tangled, and the mix of what they did with Frozen. They're taking kind of a 2D design look, but bringing it to screen in a different way than before. They're going for more of that painted look. They're going for the painted look, and what I presume, this isn't confirmed, mind you, but when they say painted look, I assume they're going for what they did in Lilo and Stitch with kind of a watercolor.
Right. I hope so, because I love that look.
So I'm saying when they say painted,
I hope it doesn't look exactly like Lilo and Stitch. Like, I hope it's got its own thing going for it, which I'm sure it will.
Certainly.
But yeah, the watercolor thing in Lilo and Stitch is one of my favorite design elements in any Disney movie.
We haven't think about how interesting it could look. We're seeing a computer-generated film with kind of watercolor elements put into it.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Like a beautiful painted watercolor elements worked in there, and just basically kind of bringing kind of the classic, not even just the watercolors, just kind of the classic painting on maybe the design elements like the tiki designs or just the environmental designs of like 2,000-year-old Hawaiian Polynesian culture.
Sure.
So the point is, it's in good hands. The CG elements do seem very, very intriguing. Again, the watercolor look of Lilo and Stitch looks great. Imagine like something like pushing that in CG.
Oh man!
With a grand adventure scope and a lot of water, and you're traveling, sailing. A lot of potential.
I'm so excited for that.
So let alone now, we're psyched up for it. What kind of characters will we expect with our grand Tiki cast here?
Okay, well, keep in mind, this is all speculation. I'm sure that there's probably going to be characters that they're going to draw from Polynesian mythology that aren't in the Tiki Room 3 show. So this list right here, it's the only thing I know. So
I don't think I'm alone in that I know absolutely nothing about Tiki culture, except they look really cool.
The only thing I know about Tiki culture I gained from the Tiki Room, so I'm not far ahead of you.
All I know about Tiki is that they look really cool. One of the names is Maui.
Well, yeah, so we'll start with Maui. Start with Maui because he's obviously going to be in this movie as, I'm assuming, like the secondary main character.
I'm not saying an Olaf, but kind of maybe a Kristoff.
I actually think he's going to be more than an Olaf. I think he's going to be like right up there. Like I think it's going to be like kind of more of like a Pixar duo. You know what I mean?
Right. You mean like a Dory?
Yeah, exactly, something like that. Right.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm saying like an important secondary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing with Maui, he is the Polynesian trickster, and that is a very specific character arc. And
it's kind of like a Loki.
Exactly. So be really interesting to kind of see what they do with that element of the character.
Now, is he like a good trickster or a bad trickster?
He's a good trickster. He's playful. He's a playful trickster. Yeah, he's kind of like a Brer Rabbit style trickster.
All right.
Okay, so we've got Maui. We know he's definitely going to be in the movie. Let's speculate on some villains. Because I've definitely got a villain that they could use, and that
give me some options here. Let's hear some options.
Okay, I think if they're going to go the Tiki Room route, I would not be surprised at all to see Pele as the main villain of this movie.
What's his deal?
Pele is the goddess of fire and volcanoes, and yeah, in the Tiki Room, it's a really neat setup. It's just this statue, right? Like this tiki statue, but her head has like this volcano top to it.
All right.
And then and then she starts talking and she's like, I'm the one who's really sad. Whenever I smile, it comes out mad. And then there's this big fire that erupts out of the volcano.
Oh, you know what they could do?
What?
They can make, I'm going to speculate just based off this first suggestion here, that she could be their she could be the reason the island's in trouble. Basically she'd be kind of cueing the volcano to go. I don't know if she'd be demanding.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I don't know if she'd be demanding a sacrifice or not. But the point is, like, she'd be like threatening doom upon them for like, you haven't serviced me properly, you will die.
Exactly. Something along those lines.
You've dishonored me, and now suffer.
The one interesting thing is that I could almost, if the whole volcano thing with Pixar is coming to fruition, I could almost see them using Pele in that too. So I don't know. It's interesting.
So Pele could be an interesting villain. Most definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think if they do decide to go that route, I definitely think there's a lot of material to mine from. I know she's one of the more famous of the Polynesian gods, and so yeah, I definitely think if there's a villain, then Pele would be a good choice. Now,
bear in mind, Tiki, I just think he's going through the Tiki list, we should keep this in mind. Now, not everyone they encounter will be a bad guy. By all means, there's probably going to be some guys.
No. Pele is probably about the only villainous Tiki in the Tiki Room. So I'm just putting her out there as a villain.
We gotta have some rock troll equivalents around here somewhere.
Oh gosh. Oh, we'll see. Oh god. Okay, so anyways, we got Ndegende. and he is the Earth Balancer, and he is tormented by Pele because, of course, Pele has a whole volcano thing, and, you know, and Ngende is trying to balance the Earth, and Pele's all shaking it up and whatnot, so I could actually see in the movie Ngende sort of being Pele's, because in the Tiki Room, they really make a big point out of Pele tormenting Ngende, so I could see Ngende being kind of like a poor henchman to Pele in the movie.
Smitty.
Yeah, right.
Or Smee, I should say.
Oh, right, yeah, exactly. Except Ngende most certainly does not like the position he's in, unlike Smee, but...
Well, it could be like they could actually do a smart thing where it's like, you know, he starts out as Smee and they kind of realizes, like, he could be kind of that...
Oh, that would be cool.
You remember
right.
Ants? Remember Christopher Walken's aunt in Ants?
Yes, of course.
It could be like that. It could be like he's working for the bad guy. Kind of realizes the area in a way it may sees like the people being being subjugated,
right.
or if not subjugated, then in trouble. Basically says, you know, this is enough. I'm going to help out, and he's going to try. Maybe he'll fail or he'll pay for it, but then you know they'll be saved at some point. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Point is like he'll step up to help save the day, maybe.
Okay, and then we have Rongo. And Rongo is the god of agriculture, and he also discovered electricity. So, yeah. I'm not necessarily sure how they could use him, but I don't know.
They could use him as kind of just showing, like, not all these... Maybe they have an encounter... Their first encounter in their journeys with how familiar do you think she'd be with this mythology? Like, would this be like a discovery of the mythology in this journey?
I kind of think that where they're going is I definitely think she'd probably be well versed in it. I think that it'd be a big part of her heritage. You know what I mean? Kind of in the same way this, like the whole spirits and whatnot are a big part of Pocahontas' heritage.
Because I'm thinking, at first I was thinking like she would assume like all these guys are like, oh my god, these guys are dangerous, and then she'd run into one that wasn't so dangerous.
I mean, what I'm thinking is maybe it's like she's caught off guard by the fact that they, like, actually exist, even though she's familiar with the mythology. You know what I mean? Right.
Well, you know, it could be... essentially, I envision this guy, just where, again, based off the description here. This guy would be like...
It's worth noting, just really quick, it's worth noting, he discovered electricity with a kite, and the kite itself is crashed into the side of the Tiki Room. It's great.
Well, I think this guy would be, like, helpful. Like, maybe, like, they get shipwrecked or something, he helps repair the thing and helps them on their journey, basically gives them some advice. Like, he's the wise mentor, maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Basically says, well, if you want your journey, you have to do this, you have to find your way, and basically, as he's describing, he fixes the thing, and basically says, that's how you're going to stop. That's how you're going to stop her and save your people. Mm-hmm. You have to look for inventive solutions.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Okay, next up we have Koro, and Koro is the midnight dancer. And basically, Koro is the party guy of the gods and goddesses, and I could totally see him as a comic relief. In this movie. I think that.
Well, let me run this by you. Do you think she would pick up some of these tikis to go along with her for the journey?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Maybe like just like a stop by and like kind of like the Odyssey, you stop by.
Odyssey, where it's stop bys. I don't know. It's a good question. How many? Because we know it's going to be her and Maui. Like that much is sure throughout the whole thing. So yeah, they'll probably at least, you know.
What do you think these guys are going to look like in terms of like design and stature? Like is it going to be like a god talking to man type deal?
No, I don't think it's going to be that. I think what they're probably going to do is they're probably just going to incorporate, like, because if you look at that concept art, the concept art that has her with the sail, you know, out in the ocean, I'm assuming that's the same concept art that you saw.
Yeah. That's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah, there's another guy with her, and I assume that's Maui. He's kind of a portly guy. You know, he's got, like, a grass skirt. So basically, I think that what the gods are going to be like is they're just going to be like normal people, except
with extraordinary abilities.
Exactly. Right. And you know, kind of like cool animation things done.
Sure. Well, you know, if that is the case, it does kind of lend itself more that, you know, some of these guys might be willing to go along with her, at least for stretches of the journey. You know, so this party.
And keep in mind, like, we have no idea if any of these guys that I'm listing off are actually going to be in this movie.
Like, as I'm saying, in terms of, like, team up or at least helping her out, like, they would all, if they're going to help her cause, it'd be for either emotional reasons or basically that this lady is going to be a big threat to us. We got to stop her because she's going nuts, destroying places.
But Koro, even in the Tiki room, Koro basically makes a joke about him partying too hard and then being hungover the next day.
Oh, you know what they should do? They rest somewhere for the night on their journey, and they run into this guy, and he basically parties out, and they get stranded for a stretch looking for a solution, and pretty much he can't help it then until he realizes, oh, wait, I can't help you.
Yeah, either way, like, if they use Koro, I totally could see him be, like, the party guy, you know, like the comic book prince.
He could be the King Julian.
Yeah, something like that. Right. Oh God.
He could be like a family-friendly Jim Belushi.
Oh my. Right. Okay, so moving on, we have Tangaroa Rue, who is the goddess of the east winds. I could totally see her being used because of, you need wind for the sails, and this whole thing is all about, sailing and everything. So just by that very nature, I could totally see this character working its way in.
Again, just going off me completely spitballing off of each of these individual suggestions. If the story is just going off of what I'm speculating here, that maybe one of the one you mentioned that invented the lightning. If he suggests inventive solutions, again just speculating. If he suggests inventive solutions, and maybe they realize, oh man, we can reach out to these guys to help us along our journey. Basically, says, please, can you help us with?
I could totally see that. Right. Tangaroa.
Yeah, Tangaroa, can you basically give us a lift or give us a breeze so we can travel? Thank you.
Yeah, even if it's
good luck on your journey.
I'd honestly be surprised if this particular god doesn't work its way in there. I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of gods that I'd be surprised didn't work their way in, next we have Hina Kalua, who is the mistress of rain, and also, get ready for it, the mother of Maui.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I would be, again, I'd be surprised if we didn't see this character in there, given that Maui is a prominent figure in this movie.
I know, because I gotta tell you, and bear in mind also, we give Disney a lot of credit, especially with their recent successes, but I'm not saying this would be a failure either. I'm just saying you gotta give them points of reinvention to it. Big Hero 6 isn't directly off the page, and they're taking some liberties with it. Good stuff, mind you, but just saying they're taking some liberties. So what if they didn't make this character Maui's mom and just made her like an ominous threat? Just throwing it out there. Basically, she'd be like a rainstorm that would stop them from there.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
Perhaps. It's also worth noting that Tangaroa Rue and Hina Kalua are always together because, as in Tiki Room says, we often travel together, wind and rain, through tropic lands across the 7 seas.
Or maybe here's an idea. They run across those two together, causing a lot of hardship for them. And then essentially she reaches them, basically saying, "Please help me on our journey." Shh, they help her out, give her a big old wave and a big old breeze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So I could totally see, of course, any weather-related gods. I could totally see, given the subject matter and the sailing and everything like that. Yeah. And then finally, our last one is Tangaroa, the father of all gods and goddesses. Here, in this land of enchantment, I appear before you as a mighty tree. Stand back. O mystic powers, hear my call. From my limbs let new life fall. They're great. Alright, I'm sorry, that's Thurl Ravencroft, the voice of Tangaroa at Disneyland. I have that whole spiel memorized from long
So essentially, this guy's the head honcho. He's the father to all of them, right?
Yeah, he's a giant tree, and life literally, sprouts down from his limbs, and...
Well, this is kind of funny, but because it's kind of literally going full circle here. What if this guy was the one they're going to see to solve the problem. Basically, can you talk to
I
your?
could totally see that. Yeah, I could
Can
totally
you
see
please
that.
reason with your daughter? She's going to
Be in that kind of role for sure.
can you please call off your daughter? She's going to kill innocent people. Well, that's the way of that's the way of us demigods, you know. That's the way of us demigods. I mean, I can't will her to do something. Please, I mean, you can't let these innocent people die. Listen, you have to essentially maybe hammering a theme of like finding these creative solutions. That you can't just ask for a problem to be solved. And it's basically you gotta find a way around using what you've learned from your travels.
Right, right.
You can use them to help you, but you can't just have the solution easily solved with a snap of the fingers by the big old father here.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Again, humble speculation. I have no idea.
My one fear about them actually the plausibility of them using Tangaroa is that if they do want to do something with the Tiki Room, whether it be a full movie or a short or a TV show or what the hell ever, Tangaroa is a pretty major fixture in that. Like, you can use all the other gods, but Tangaroa is perhaps like the most iconic image from that attraction, practically.
If there was a TV show, he'd probably be your opening to the story, be saying, and this time, and like.
Yeah,
and now this time, this Tiki did this, and then we start the story.
So I'm saying, like, if they do use Tangaroa, they are pretty much throwing out any chance that we're going to see, like, a full-blown Tiki Room movie or property. Right. Because you can't really do Tiki Room without Tangaroa.
Well, you know what they could do if they wanted to give a nice little homage to the Tiki Room in this movie?
Just have a bunch of freaking birds.
Well, I was thinking of something else, but...
What? Just a bunch of birds, just a bunch of birds just hanging out, singing.
What if your movie started?
No, what if the birds are the trolls? What if the birds take on the troll role? Oh, God.
I'm just saying the movie's going to be populated by birds.
Right.
So why not have like a bunch of birds flying around, colorful birds?
I've always thought that birds would be an excellent thing that Pixar could do. I've long since thought that.
Well, they've done For the Birds.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. They did For the Birds. That was kind of more cartoonish. I'd love to see them do a more realistic kind of bird movie. I think that'd be right up their alley. But
well,
anyway.
they've done Kevin.
Yeah, but I'm saying like something that takes the whole perspective of flight as a bird and makes that into a movie.
Yeah, I think the only reason they're hesitating on it is because Rio's kind of still.
Fuck Rio. Seriously. Fuck Rio.
Yeah, the Rio, and also the thing I'm worried about for Pixar right now, real quick, I just want to mention this real quick, that Book of Life, which really I'm hearing really good things about, make me tempted to see.
Yeah, it's kind of beats the punch. Diaz Muertas.
Yeah, it makes me kind of sad because I'm interested in Guillermo del Toro behind that. It sounds interesting to me. It looks great.
Guillermo del Toro put his money behind that. I have a whole rant about Guillermo del Toro being a Spielberg-like producer who will slap his name on anything.
Yeah, I mean
that's a whole different story.
However, he has been a good consultant for DreamWorks now and again, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, that man just needs to make the Haunted Mansion movie. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is, what if you had this all-father of the Tikis? He opens. What if he's our narrator for the film? Like, just this is the beginning and the ending, and he'll have a role in the story, sure, but what if he ushers in? We just pan into the Tiki Room. We explore the Tiki Room as with the stories being told to us, like almost like a Winnie the Pooh type opening.
What are you saying? Like this would be a Tiki Room, or are you speculating that there would be an actual Tiki Room in this movie?
I'm saying that we start the movie, we're exploring a Tiki Room, just to kind of usher us into like what the mythology. Basically, like
you're saying start the movie and then bam, there's the Tiki Room, like right there.
Yeah, we're ushered in by the voice of this All-Father guy.
Oh man, if that's the case, then they might as well just might as well just be like the Tiki Room movie.
I'm saying, like, what if the whole movie is just told what if I'm saying John Lasseter, I wouldn't put it past him if they really wanted to tell the story and really reference if the Tiki's going to play a big role in the movie, if they are, which it sounds like they are. If Tiki's going to play a big role in the movie, if they really want to celebrate that mythology, what they could do is kind of, what's the ultimate celebration? The Disney attraction, the Tiki Room, right? So here's what they do. To celebrate that, they have an homage to some classic Disney culture, but as they logically Well, how a lot of people know what any of these tikis are? Well, a lot of them experienced Tiki Room over the years at Disney, and they probably experience the ride now. That's marketing.
Mhm.
That's genius marketing right there. So you explore Tiki Room, you explore in like a digital environment, which would look beautiful, probably.
Oh yeah, oh
If they
yeah.
do it right. Basically, you kind of go like you around the room as you're hearing this
But dear
voice
God, don't
ushering.
tie it in too much that Moana is like a permanent fixture of the Tiki Room. Dear God, don't fucking do that. Oh,
Well,
I
all
swear
I'm
to God,
saying is like
I will choke a bitch if that happens. I'm sorry.
all I'm saying is like you're just going around the room. So whether you say this is modern day or not, it's some magical room we don't really explain. That is basically room full of tikis. Basically ushering it. We hear this voice ushering us in. We either how does is there a book for the tiki room? How exactly does that work? Do we
What do you mean? Is there a book?
I'm sorry. The story's being told to us by animatronic tikis, right?
No. It's the birds are the big fixtures, and the birds just like they all wake up at the beginning, and they kind of like, oh, Buenos dias, time to start the show.
Right.
That's a very like reduced version of what happens.
Yeah, like what if what if we used to like see the birds like populating the area too? Like I'm not saying unfortunately I don't think they'd be able to speak in just what I'm pitching. Again, I'm not a huge I've never been physically at the Tiki Room or anything. I can't speak. I'm not doing this justice, but I'm humbly speculating here that what if you went around and you saw these birds flying around the room? Basically, you hear the voice ushering you in, like what exactly the Tiki mythology is, and basically, and there's one story I need to tell you, and then basically as the story is getting told, we transition to our story.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I can see that for sure.
But the big thing that either he says like the way I can tell you this story really emphasize the importance of the tikis within the culture would be this telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it sound like any remnant of an idea. That sounds good.
Like I said, the only thing is that if they go a full-blown Tiki Room, then it's like, my God, it's like pretty much an official Tiki Room movie at that point. So I'm not sure that they go that blatant with it.
Maybe like the ultimate homage of like it's really something
right,
that people.
You're absolutely right. It would be an ultimate homage, and I would freaking love it.
I'm saying it would be an equivalent.
That on the nose about it.
I'm saying it would be kind of a cross, and this is a weird comparison here. It'd be kind of a weird cross between three things. It'd be a weird cross between the opening of Aladdin, where you have the shopkeep played by Robin Williams. Right. A cross between that, a cross between Winnie the Pooh, where you have the live action book and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And a cross between Frozen, the opening of Frozen with the Frozen Heart.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying it's kind of it's a weird cross between all that. So like we're in an environment that really doesn't have much bearing on, aside from just showing us, giving us a little peek of what some of these tikis, at least in their tiki form.
Sure.
Of these characters, just giving us a little taste, and we're hearing the voice. It's probably going to strike us as maybe familiar later on, whether you catch it or not. Kind of like the genie,
Right.
Yeah, pretty much like that. Is what I'm saying. That'd be like that. You have a reference to that for the diehard fans of the Tiki Room. Just basically would give you like some really cool looking culture, really cool looking designs. It'd basically be a view into the world, much like Frozen Heart is, like real quick. Okay. Like a real quick view into the thing, like same thing with the opening of the Lion King. You have like you get a view of what this grand world looks like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm saying like something like that. That'd be a way you get a Tiki Room in there and still have it not really impact the plot too much, but just be a nice reference, and just, it would still be kind of a nice intro.
Yeah. All right, for sure.
So anyway, any other characters we got here?
Nope, that's all the characters. Let me just run down the list just really quick. And again, keep in mind, the only reason I even thought to bring all these gods and goddesses into the picture in the first place is because we already have one in the form of Maui, who's going to be a main character in this movie, so I figured, why the hell not bring in speculation? So we've got Pele, the goddess of fire and volcanoes, who could make a good villain.
Yeah.
We've got Ngende, the earth balancer, who could make a good patsy to the villain.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, am I cutting you off? You seem like you want to say something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Rongo, the god of agriculture, who discovered electricity Ben Franklin style. Koro, the midnight dancer who makes a hangover joke in the actual Tiki Room. So yeah, he's good comic relief. Tangaroa Roo, the goddess of the east winds. Hina Kalua, the mistress of rain, and also the mother of Maui in mythology. And finally, Tangaroa, the father of all gods and goddesses, and the voice of Tony the Tiger. They're great. Okay, so yeah.
You know something? I'm just thinking about this now. What if instead of being a lackey, what if the Earth Balancer was kind of the one they were going to for help? Or the one who stepped
I
up
can
in the
see
end.
that. Yeah, yeah. It's
So
interesting
regardless,
because with the Earth Bouncer, I kind of feel like oh god, like he created life itself, but Tangaroa is the father. It's kind of confusing. It's like Tangaroa and Negende kind of have like similar roles. It's a little bit.
I'm, I'm saying, what if the Earth Balancer was a reluctant hero? Like I'm saying,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
in both versions,
Right.
I'm just throwing out here. He's both a reluctant hero and both. But instead of being a lackey, what if he was just like morally defeated? Like if he was.
He is pretty morally defeated in the brief dialogue he has in the Tiki Room. Yeah, I could
So
see
think
that.
about this. Let me run this by. Just let me throw this out here. What if? Okay, this guy. You say he. So what exactly did this guy create? So he just.
I'm not sure. It just on the Disney website it says he created life, but then Tangaroa is the father of all gods and gods. So I'm not sure what the difference is there. It's a
So I'm
bit
saying,
muddy.
what if? Like, so what if this guy created the basis? Like I'm saying, what if the guy's called the Earth
Yeah,
Balancer,
he
right?
created the foundation. Tangaroa populated the foundation. Let's go with
Yeah.
that.
So I'm saying, what if he like this guy laid the foundation? Let's say I'm just throwing this out here completely out of the blue speculation. So don't
Right,
let you
right.
believe. What if this guy created the land, like created the wonderful land that all these gods can inhabit? What if this guy he created this land that they all have like kind of claimed for their own, and he also maybe like hinted that he created the All Father too.
Okay, okay.
And by that proxy, he's basically laid the groundwork for this thing. And basically, he thinks that I created this beautiful landscape. It's been thrown out of balance because yes, there's good that's done, but there's also it's thrown out of. Basically, he desires balance in this world. He's created
Hmm.
something beautiful. He wants balance, and he's created someone who he thinks can control that balance. Maybe this father, like any father, can't really control all his kids, or
Yeah,
or
okay, yeah, I'm
control.
really liking that.
Yeah, he
Sure,
can't
sure.
control all his kids. So basically, all the kids, some of them are good, some of them not so good, and some of them are causing chaos. And again, the balance guy, he just wants balance, where he kind of realizes, what have I done? What have I created? I mean, I can try to keep it steady, but what's the point? I mean, I'll try, but I won't fail. I won't actually try. I'll just like keep it. I'll keep it teetering.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
keep it teetering, but I can never achieve full balance. Basically, the world's coming out of balance, and maybe the big emotional thing is that our main character is trying to kind of give this guy the ultimate pep talk, saying, "No, look, the world is worth balancing. If you can balance it so it's not falling into destruction, essentially."
Yeah, I really like where you're playing at, but yeah, that's really good. That's
Basically,
actually
if they
really
can
good.
inspire that guy, and that would be her main crux, that you're going on this adventure. The adventure is not the physical adventure of journeying to the sky. It is the adventure of taking what you've learned going through this adventure, finding these inventive solutions, just kind of seeing all these different personalities, and really kind of reaching the personality you haven't encountered with any of these guys, of the guy who created all this and how he must feel having created all the beauty that is this Polynesian adventure. Having created all this and not really being able to fully experience, like,
Mhm.
this guy is so neurotic that, oh man, this is insane. Like, this guy could be like a Kermit the Frog of some sorts. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is nuts. What's
Right,
happening here? It's
right.
going in the balance. This guy's blowing up. This guy's partying over here. This guy's getting struck by lightning. I just want a balanced world. I want an average world. Basically, she'd be saying, no, you can't have an average world. Where's the fun in that? But you
Mhm.
need a safe world, though, so you can't have it throwing in the chaos. You got to balance it. You got to balance like good and evil on the same side. You can't just balance it and make everything the same.
Right, yeah,
Maybe
sure.
that's the message she's trying to say.
Yeah.
I've experienced this world. It's a fun place. I'm with the trickster right here. This guy, he knows how to have fun. He has a balance of his morals too. He knows when it's wrong, the trick's on. He knows when it's right, the trick's on. He knows when it's just
Sure,
fun.
absolutely, absolutely. Good
And
observation. Right.
maybe I got some stuff there. Again, I'm talking in my rear end here, folks.
No, yeah, keep it, of course. Like I said, that whole list that I went down, just all humble speculation that any of those characters are going to
I'm
be in
just playing off his speculations, and my speculations
right,
was
right.
less than speculation. The point is, all we know is if
Fun to
things
talk
go.
about. It's fun to talk about because Maui is in the mix. Maui is a god in the tiki room, so it's fun to bring up.
All we
It's definitely
know.
going to be one. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I was gonna say basically we're hoping this thing's gonna be it's the Odyssey with a Disney message. Not Disney.
Sure,
I'm saying it
sure.
could be like. kind of a Disney version of the Odyssey with kind of a good message and a really beautiful looking film is what we're hoping for. This in a nutshell.
And and I'm hoping. I'm not hoping for it, but I'm going to be interested. Definitely, one of the most interesting things about this production is how much it will actually reference the Tiki Room. But
once again, I gotta tell you, to be honest, aside from using, they're probably gonna use actual Tiki gods and myths and stuff. So I'm saying, I think I'm wondering how much it's gonna draw from that opposed to Tiki Room. But I would doubt that they wouldn't.
well, no, I was about to say there are literally thousands more gods and goddesses outside of
exactly. So
the Tiki Room. So
I'd be surprised if they didn't throw in some references to the Tiki Room here and there, but I don't think. Yeah, you don't know how much it's going to...
No, you're absolutely right. I don't think they're just going to be like, okay, well, here's the characters from the Tiki Room. There you go. There are the characters. No, I don't think it's going to be that way at all. I just think it's kind of fun to speculate if they're going to use any more than just Maui. So
yeah,
maybe I went a little bit overboard with listing them all, but I thought it'd be fun.
That was cool. That was cool. They had a bunch of options, like potential characters and potential...
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
It really sounds like an Odyssey to me, like a Polynesian Odyssey, and I think that's a cool idea. I'm all for that.
Indeed, I really like when Disney kind of, their whole, it's not even really a specific source material, it's more like a story archetype almost, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Whereas, like, almost like, it's kind of like almost how Hamlet is... I mean, Hamlet is Hamlet, but for God's sake, that story has inspired so much that it's practically become an archetype. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Essentially, it's like, what if Anna wasn't like going to seriously? What if Anna and Olaf, and it's the gang? We don't know how many people might be joining her for this adventure. What if a character explored a wide, vast room and came across all these wondrous sights?
Sure.
Pretty much.
All right,
and kind of also maybe like underlying thing be she's shaping the world too, maybe.
I could see it, yeah, at least shaping her environment, if not the world, you know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not
the island environment.
Maybe not the world. Probably shouldn't say the world, but maybe like she's shaping mythology by meeting these
yeah, sure, absolutely, yeah.
Like maybe I'm not sure like how early on, like because again it's kind of a question of like whether it's the beginning of a lot of these guys' myths, like, okay, maybe they meet the guy, then he gets struck by lightning. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. For all we know, it could be just Maui's origin story. Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know exactly how much of this is going to be origin versus, like, already established. It's a lot of stuff to consider. The point is, all we know is that it's sounding like it's going to be an Odyssey or teaming up with this one character to save her island and going a lot of sailing.
Okay.
And doing it for the emotional purposes of saving her family, who it appears she loves. Otherwise, why go on the journey?
Oh yeah.
So you got to remember, we can't lose sight of our heroic protagonist here, because she's going to be an important role. Even if all the stuff I'm speculating here is blindly speculating, she's going to play an important role in either convincing people or interacting with these guys, interacting with these tikis.
Yeah, most certainly. All right, so I think that's about all we have to say about it. Unless you have any final thoughts.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So yeah, that is our little humble speculation about the Tiki Room. Indeed, and trying to think of a good Tiki line to go out on.
In the Tiki room.
Okay, no, I got it. So, straight from the Pineapple film at the beginning of Tiki Room, and only obscure diehard Tiki fans will get this reference, but, yeah! Skilled hands slice choicest selections of pineapple. Indeed. Skilled hands. If you know what that is, I fucking love you. Good night, everyone.